Oh, hello. Like a children's program. It's a Sunday morning. I'm sat here doing paperwork and I thought I'd break it up because this is really boring. It's end of quarter, you have to do your tax return in Spain. So that's what I'm up to today. Unfortunately, it's Sunday, the sun is shining and I'm doing tax paperwork. So I thought I'd break it up and do a really good, I'm not sure about really good, but really quick video, hopefully answering some of the questions from the Q&A video I put out, seems like yonks ago, so that some people could win a Fezza hat, which I haven't prepared, but it's here beside me. So not so long ago, I put a video up, maybe a couple of months ago, that I hit 10,000 subscribers and I was going to give away 10 Fezza hats. See, look, all beautifully wrapped, everything. All prepared by my loving assistant, who is watching me from over there. And this is my assistant, Roxy. What a little thing. The plan is to just whiz through these comments as fast as possible, these questions as fast as possible, and then at the end, I'll just randomly pick 10 people who put a question in there, and they can then get a hat. So, right. Optimum X, what's it like owning a Ferrari in Spain? Seems like an interesting place to live in. Well, I suppose it's like having a Ferrari anywhere else. It's nice because we get quite a lot of good weather, so generally you can use it quite a lot. I don't know, in some countries they have to lock up their cars for months and stuff and they can't use them. But here it's not a problem, it's very nice. The roads are generally quite quiet, so you can actually enjoy the car and it's good fun. You don't get stuck in traffic all the time. Here you go, look. So Ford429 said, thanks for inspiring me to finally pull the trigger and purchase a 360 Spider. Do you know what it feels like for Ferrari owners who live in Canada and have to put our cars away for 5 to 6 months of the year, looking in their garage every day and hoping for an early spring? I can't imagine. I haven't used mine for like 2 weeks and I'm already feeling like, oh, I need to get the car out. It feels really weird not being able to use it for 2 or 3 weeks. Did you ever regret not getting a manual 360 Modena? And I want that hat. That's from Mr. Leon Hunter. Do I regret not getting a manual version? Really hard to come by in Spain. The pool of supercars in Spain, or high performance cars, is very small. So there's not a lot of choice. And I didn't really care, to be honest, whether it was manual or paddle shift. I really didn't care at all. I just wanted a Ferrari. Boyhood dream. Which car, past or present, has been your favourite? Well, I mean, I tend to love all cars. I mean, I see the positives in all cars. But if there's a car, I suppose, that I miss the most, it's the Toyota GT86. And I just, all the time, still miss that car so much. That Toyota GT86 is just a wonderful car to drive. Kids Quarter Mile Club. Do any of your family members go for a ride in the Ferrari? My daughter hates it when I drop her off at school or pick her up. I'm always having to park a street or two away and she ducks her head down so no one sees her. Yeah, I did a video about this once actually, and I was actually taking one of my daughters to school and I had to drop her off around the corner. So one of my daughters, she quite likes the car. She loves going in the car. I think she quite likes the attention she gets in the car. The other one doesn't. She likes it when the roof is closed and she can go a little bit more incognito. And sometimes I go, oh, right, we're going to take the Ferrari today for lunch or something. And then she'll be like, oh, Dad, are we really? And I'm thinking, seriously? If somebody said to me, we're taking the Ferrari for lunch, I'd be like, whoa, let's go, you know? Apex Noob, should I sell my Porsche Cayman GT4 and buy my father's old F360 Spider, which has been sitting for sale for 3 to 4 years on the other side of the country? Would involve a major service, shipping, blah, blah, blah. Well, wow, they're very different cars. A Cayman GT4 and a Ferrari 360. A Cayman GT4 you could use every day, brilliant track car, whilst a 360 is neither of those. I know people will argue with me and say, yeah, you can use a Ferrari every day and stuff. You can't really, it's not practical, it's not made for that. So, and on a track, I took the Ferrari on a track and I normally take my RS on track, and I probably wouldn't take the Ferrari again. I would just take the RS. It's so much better on track. So it depends what you want to use it for. So if it's just a weekend car or something, maybe the 360 is quite good for that sort of thing, you know, for a drive up the mountains and stuff. But if you actually, you know, do track days or you need a car that you can use on a much more regular basis, then I suppose the Cayman is the way to go. Stephen Walters says, congrats, thank you very much. What's it like in Spain with speed cameras and so on compared to the UK with powerful cars like the RS and the Ferrari? And also, what's the cost of a track day in Spain? So, speed cameras in Spain, I moved to Spain in 2004, and in those days, there weren't really any speed cameras. There might be one or two here and there, but they were very, very rare. And now we do have a lot more speed cameras. Cost of track days in Spain, normally between €200, €250. That sort of price range, I think, is about right. That's what I've been paying. Which exhaust pipe feels the best in your fleet? Well, it's definitely not the chimney. Well, there's just no question about it. I mean, it's the Ferrari. It's got the Capristo Stage 3 exhaust, and it just sounds incredible. I mean, the sound it makes, I don't think it even comes across remotely what it feels like in person or in a video. So it is just an incredible. I remember the first time I drove it, and it was just like my eyes were watering. Do you see yourself selling the Ferrari this year? I'm trying desperately not to. I'm sort of looking at the moment to change up to a 430, and I'm trying to work the numbers out so I don't need to sell the 360, so I can keep both. Whether I can afford to keep two, I don't know. The numbers aren't working out at the moment, and I'm still trying to find a 430 that matches the spec that I'm looking for. So, difficult one. That was from Darren Craig. Adam Rainey. Oh, Adam. Hi, Adam. Adam's got an RS. He's got a really good channel. If you want to follow, if you don't already follow Adam, I'm sure you do. If you've got an RS, and he does loads of mods on his car. Really good. Love his videos. So Adam says, yay for 10,000. Thank you. Which do you find more satisfying as a driver, the Ferrari or the RS? Well, that's quite an easy one to answer, actually. So the one that's more satisfying as a driver is the RS. It's a much more, I suppose it's the directness of the car. It feels like a go-kart on the road. The overwhelming experience you get with that car, from a driver's perspective, and how connected you are to the road, is just incredible. So the RS is definitely the best driver's car. I've got Jamie Nelson. What began your interest in vehicles? Would you do a feature on your scooter? Do you have any remote control cars or drones? My interest in cars, wow, I mean that since I was a baby, I think. I mean, I was drawing cars from the minute I was born. I was just obsessed, absolutely obsessed with cars. We didn't have a car in our family till I was about 16, I think. But I just had this obscene obsession. In fact, I've still got loads of books. This book, I got this, I think as a birthday present once when I was a very young lad. It would have been in the early 80s or late 70s. And this encyclopedia of cars, I mean, I just read the entire thing. Every single page is covered in dust. Do a feature on your scooter. Yeah, I will do actually. That Honda PCX that I bought recently is really good. Do you have any remote control cars or drones? Well, I have a drone, and I have used it in quite a few videos. Remote control cars, yes. I have an Aventador, it's only a little one. I don't have any professional remote control cars, unfortunately, but this one's good for just whizzing around the office. So, Nix I really enjoy your stuff about the RS and other cars. So about Spain, I hear the ladies are insane there. Is that true? Do you mean insane as in completely nuts? I'm not sure what you mean by insane, or are they just like really attractive or something? Jonathan Palmer, I'm sure not the Formula One driver, surely? No. What exactly is your business, and does the Spanish tax system help or hinder having a stable of cars? Good question about the tax. My business is about online marketing. So I have a business in the UK called Artemis Marketing. We do online marketing for small to medium-sized businesses. I did do a video about that last time. I think my first Q&A around 2,000 subs. So if you go back maybe a couple of years, you'll see that video and it tells you more about what I do. Spanish tax system help or hinder having a stable of cars? At the moment, it doesn't help at all. Next one is Chris Osborne. What are you proud of but never have an excuse to talk about? There's a really good question. What am I proud of but never talk about? So I suppose if you ask my kids, they say, Dad, you're just proud of us. Of course, I'm going to be proud of my kids. But I suppose if there's something that I never talk about, I mean, is, it's a tough one. I'm not sure how to get it across either. So, life is really hard, and my life has been very up and down in so many ways, and I've made a lot of mistakes, and so I suppose what I'm most proud of is that I've always managed to somehow get out of what appear to be some awful situations, like close to bankruptcy and families breaking up and all sorts of stuff. And so a lot of the time I think I'm proud that I haven't lost my head, and I still managed to think straight, and I still managed to get up in the morning, and no matter what happens and what life's throwing at me, I still get up and I go, right, time to get some shit done. I suppose it's that attitude, and I'm so glad that I have that attitude, because I know a lot of people struggle sometimes with depression and mental health and stuff like this, and we all have mental health issues one way or another. But I think I'm glad that I never get to a point where however tough life gets, that I can't get up in the morning, that I can't function. I still get up the next day. I still go and give it everything I've got for 12 hours, whatever it is I do that day. So I think I'm just proud of the fact that I'm always able to get through whatever life throws at me, if that makes any sense. Happy Traveller. Good day, Fezza. I'm assuming you're Australian. I see you have the same taste of problem in cars and PA as myself. Yes, I now have my RS, and yes, I'm currently working around my Ginger on the desk. I assume Ginger is the cat. So question 1, the Suzuki, will you be trying your hand off-road? Oh, for sure. I mean, I can't wait to take it off-road. Question 2, the new engine in the RS, now you've had some time with it, is it using any oil? Does it still feel strong? So I've done 70,000 kilometers. The first engine, I think, blew up at 22,000 kilometers. So this one is nearly 50,000 kilometers. And it's absolutely fine. Doesn't miss a beat. Doesn't really use much oil, and feels really strong. In fact, it feels stronger than ever. NDGSS says, will you do a video of one of your daughters driving the Ferrari? I've only done a couple of videos with my daughters in them. I don't really like them being in the videos, and I probably won't do one of them driving the Ferrari, even though I will get them to drive the car. So, and the only reason I won't do it is because people online are very mean and very nasty, and whenever I put my kids in a video, they always say, "Oh, spoiled kids," and my kids are just so definitely not spoiled at all. They are really not spoiled. And so I won't put them in the Ferrari only because I just fear that it might just generate quite a lot of negativity, and I can't be bothered with it really. Mark Holden, Justin, my 360 is going in for belts and annual. How can I prepare for the big scary bill? You can't. Just empty your wallet. It's all part of the... Well, I mean, I say that, but I was actually thinking the other day, I thought actually... so I've had my Ferrari for 4 years, which seems incredible. And I bought it, and it's gone up. The appreciation of the car is probably about 10,000 euros since I bought it. So over the 4 years, it's gone up 10,000. And I reckon it's cost me about 20,000 to have the car. So if you offset the 20,000 with a 20,000 cost with a 10,000 appreciation, it's actually costing me about 10,000 euros to run that car for 4 years, 2,500 euros a year. That's not bad. Dewey Falk, have you ever owned a car with a 2-stroke engine? No, plenty of bikes, motorbikes, but no cars. Have you ever spectated at a rally and been pelted with gravel or dirt? No, but I would love to. Craig Lowe, hi Fez, I just bought a Mark III RS. Your videos played a part in my recent car buying decision. Thank you. Question for all important hat, which I feel I need. Would you feel the need to install anything like a ghost immobilizer to your car? I'm not sure what a ghost immobilizer is. I think that's one of those that blocks the signal from your fob to the car, I think. Is that right? No, I don't think so. And the car theft is very low here, to be honest. They steal from cars, but they don't steal cars as such. Markel Diaz, what other cars have you had? Saludos desde España. Markel, I did do a video about that quite a while ago, maybe a couple of years. If you go back through the videos, you'll see a video about the cars that I've had in the past. Daisy Cutter says, do your hats come in Giallo Modena? Unfortunately not. Adria JC, in a daily driving, how much petrol does the RS use? A lot. it's really thirsty. It's a really, really thirsty car, especially if you drive it the way it was designed to be driven. So, and that's how I drive it. Richard Booker, hi Justin, long time subscriber here. Thank you, Richard, for hanging around for so long. Question is, with the inevitable rise in popularity of electric cars, what are your thoughts on EVs and would you consider one in the near future? Wow, okay, and he's sorry for asking such a boring question. It's actually a really good question because it's something that I asked myself quite a few times, because I could easily run an electric car in the sense that most of my trips are very short, which is actually one of the reasons I bought the Jimny, because most of my trips are just like 5-10 minute journeys. So I could easily run an electric car because I'm not doing, I'm not commuting for massive distances or whatever. I wouldn't have any range anxiety or anything. And even going to the airport and back, I mean, that's 200 kilometers in a fully charged electric car, that would be fine. Paul Wright says, have you ever had cause to make a claim on your car insurance in Spain? And if so, do they try and screw you over like they seem to in the UK? No. Yes, I did actually. I had a bit of an incident with my Toyota GT86 and I went off the road backwards into a lamppost. Don't recommend it. And I did have to claim the insurance. It was absolutely fine. All went very easy, very, very quick. No problem at all. Marcus FZ1 says, how much longer are you planning on keeping the RS? And if you could replace it today, what would you get? So am I planning on keeping it? Yes. Sometimes I think about selling it and sometimes I think about, so recently, for example, I thought I should sell it, buy the new Focus ST as an interim car before the new RS comes out. And but every time I drive the RS, there is no way I can sell it. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to sell this car. It's just not possible. I would be in tears if somebody drove that car away. And what would I get if I did replace it? I don't know. There is nothing, there really is absolutely nothing that I look at the moment and go, oh, that's it. I desperately want that. John Harrington says, tell us about how you edit videos and how long it takes you. Well, I mean, I'm probably one of the worst at both of those. It takes me ages, and I use a piece of software called, it used to be called Sony Vegas, and now I think it's called Movie Studio, something like that. Anyway, I never hear people talking about using that particular piece of software. It's one that I've used for quite a long time, so I sort of know it. I know there's probably much better kit out there, but for me, for what I do, it's absolutely fine. The editing takes me a very long time. I try and record videos in a way where, as intelligently as I can, to limit how much I need to edit. But ultimately, especially if you're running more than one camera, which in a car channel, most of the time, you generally have to have more than one camera to make it a little bit more interesting. And but combining multiple cameras, that takes a long time. Congratulations, looking forward to the Q&A. This is from CAW. I am surprised how much I like watching your vlogs. Usually I hate them. Okay, thank you. Question, how have you kept your driver's license? I don't know. Old Speckled Ben 1. Congratulations, thank you. Do you follow any other YouTube vloggers, car vloggers? If so, who? That's a good question. So I don't really follow many. I don't really watch a lot of videos. I may watch maybe 1 or 2 videos in a week, and that's it. So most of the time I just don't have a lot of time, or I don't make time to watch videos, and I don't really watch a lot of TV. So I don't follow many people. So if I do follow, so there are certain people who I tend to watch all the videos, so car focused. Gary there, he's a really good guy. He does, he's got a Focus RS and he does some really good videos and very professional. I love his genuineness and his love for the Ford brand. So I follow Gary, I watch all his stuff. Harry's Garage, of course, got to watch Harry. He's like the dad we all probably wanted. Petrolicious, I love Petrolicious, such a good channel that is. Adam Rainey, I mentioned earlier, he does mods to his car, so I watch his now and then. He's a really good guy, love how he comes across. And non-car ones, there's a YouTuber called Simone, it's pronounced Yatch apparently, but it's sort of written Gietz, and she builds all these shitty robots, and she's hugely entertaining. And but apart from those, I think, and Petrol Ped, of course, Petrol Ped I watch quite a lot of. He's a really good guy. He does car reviews and, really passionate, really genuine guy. Love his videos. Christine says, what's your favourite car? Is that favourite as in of the ones that I own or that I don't own? If it's the ones that I own, I love all my cars, so for different reasons. So my favourite car of all time is the Lamborghini Countach, or Countach, however you want to pronounce it, which is just the dream car, which one day, hopefully. John Facias, I'm not sure how I pronounce that. That's a really good question here. You clearly love interesting cars, but why have you not acquired any older classics from your youth? Surely there's an 80s Alfa, Benz, Jag. Yeah, completely, mate, completely. I'm always looking at them. And the only reason I haven't is because I struggle with time and stuff. And some of these older cars, they need a bit of time and attention. But my intention is to, in a few years' time, start getting some of those classics and cars from those eras that I really loved. And so I will be definitely going down that route. Dennis Hoffman says, just wondering when the Suzuki gets lowered and boosted to make it feel like a performance car. I'm not sure it could be, could it? Peter K, not the real Peter K, it's a different Peter K because it's just K, not K-A-Y. Won't Brexit affect you? You don't seem to be worried. How come? Well, I think it's because I just don't know. And I don't have to worry. I'm not a worrier, so I never worry about anything. I worry about things when they happen, and then I just deal with it. So whatever happens with Brexit, I'll just do whatever it takes to deal with it. So Purple Haze FFC says, now it's coming up to 4 years of owning the 360. How long are you going to keep it? And if the 458s become affordable, would you sell the 360 for one? Well, yeah, like I said earlier, the 360, I don't want to sell it, but I do want to upgrade to 430. I might need to trade it in. We'll see. Depends on the price of the 430. And if I could get a 458, oh, I'd love a 458. They are so good. Gonzo 4Motion. Would you ever buy a Lancia? If so, what would you buy? Ah, good question. Yeah, Lancia. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Lancias. But by far, the one I've always desperately wanted is the Lancia Delta Integrale, the HF, but I think it was called the Evolution 2. So it had the extra wide arches and this massive wing thing at the back like this. Looked amazing. I saw one recently. I was like, they look a little bit dated now, but I still love them so much. Jonathan Penner, are you on the lookout for any other cars that will be dropping price to its lowest? Yeah, I'm always, I spend a lot of time actually researching car prices. It's like a hobby now. And also just because I like to know when's a good time to jump in or something. And I did that with a 360. When I bought it, I thought, that's as low as it can possibly go, which I was right. So the next one on my radar though, so at the moment I'm looking at two cars, or two makes and models, and where I see there's some opportunity. One is the Lamborghini Diablo. So they've come down a lot in price, and they are at that sort of very affordable level. Affordable. It sounds wrong when you say it, but you can pick up a nice early Diablo for about 130 to 140,000 euros, and that's really good value for a V12 Lamborghini. And if you think the Countach is now 400,000 plus. So the next one on that list, the next one down is the Diablo. So people who can't afford that Countach are looking at the Diablos, like I'm doing. I'd love a Countach, but I'm looking at a Diablo, and it's like, okay, I don't have the funds for it, but how do I, if I somehow I could buy one, how could I get that Diablo? And I think they're in a really good price point at the moment. There's no way they can drop any further. I do think the Diablo is a really good investment opportunity over the next 5 years, personally, because I've been following that car and those prices for so long now, and I think they are the last of the breed. Especially the pre-Audi cars, I think, are the ones to go for. They were the last of a generation. Those early Diablos had no influence from Audi. Then Audi did the 6-litre VT or whatever it was called afterwards. But so the ones that came before Audi's input, I think those are the ones. Okay, they were less refined or whatever, but they are the last of a breed. And the other one is the Murciélago, or some people call it Murciélago. We call it Murciélago in Spanish. It's Spanish for bat, by the way. But the Murcielago also, you can get them at a really good price now. And it's similar to a Diablo. And that's what I think is quite interesting with the Murcielago, because you can pick them up for about 130, 140,000 euros. So if you've got that sort of money, you've got a choice of two different Lambos at a very similar price level, and they are very different. You've got the Murcielago, which is an Audi engineered car with proper electronic aids and everything, and then you've got the hardcore Diablo with nothing of the sort. I don't know which one I'd go for. Cosy Paul, Justin, how's your daughter doing with her driving? Tried teaching my daughter to drive, did not go well. She threw a hissy fit, got out of the car and walked home. It's really hard to teach your kids. Yeah, they're coming along. I'm hoping they're going to get their driving licenses this year in England, so that then they can just drive when they're 18 next year in Spain. Sam Cook says, as a fellow RS owner, I'm curious if you plan on upgrading or modifying your car at all. I keep thinking about it, but I probably won't do, to be honest. Tommy 58255, catchy. Here's my question, mate. Can I please have a hat to wear around Sydney in Australia? We'll see. Simon Johnson says, what's the cat's name? Cat's name is Roxy. She's my cat in the office, and I have another cat at home called Maria. The incompatible cats, which is why they have to be separated. Nitro V8. If you could afford any car currently on sale, what would you have and why? That's a good question. I think if money was no object, I would definitely go for a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, because I just think it's amazing. And it's actually, if you think about it, really good value compared to all these overpriced hypercars that are out there, which is just ridiculous. Lolfish, congrats, man. Do you have any off-roading plans for the Jimny? Yes. John Crouch Snyder. Hi Fez, I love the videos, love the car, especially the RS. Are you going to get any more cats? No. Both my cats are rescued cats. So Roxy, who's here in the office, she's a Persian, she's not a street cat, but she was abandoned and she was in really bad state. And it was really hard to get her because she was very scared of people. But so I rescued her and I brought her here, we sorted her out. Spent some time at the vet, getting all sorts of jabs and getting cleaned up. And she's happy here, she loves it, she's safe. And my other cat, Maria, at home, she was also an abandoned cat, really friendly cat, super friendly cat. But because I travel a lot, it's really hard to have pets. So I don't really want any more cats. and at this rate, I'm going to become this mad cat man with just cats everywhere. Here's a really good question. Peter Laver says, why haven't you been bitten by the RS mod bug? I don't know. I like the car as it is, and I'm quite happy with it as it is, so I don't feel like I need to upgrade it, although Gary at Car Focus did a video about his new exhaust, the Scorpion exhaust, which sounds really good. I was like, no, I am really tempted by that. Desperately trying not to. But the really good question I think he's asked is, what's it like driving a Ferrari, then the RS, finishing with a Jimny? Must be strange. Lol. Yes. That's a really good question. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, if you work it the other way, so I use the Jimny quite a lot now because it's just so easy, so convenient. So I use the Jimny all the time. And the thing that with the Jimny, when you drive it, is the steering is really slow. So you're turning the wheel for ages, And so when you go from the Jimny to the RS feels, you drop into the RS and it feels like a go-kart. And the steering, it's you literally just touch it and it just goes like that, and it's like, whoa. And it takes you a good, 10 or 15 minutes to readjust from the Jimny to the RS, just for the steering. But then when you go from the RS to the Ferrari feels easier to drive. And it's really weird. And I don't know if it's because it's automatic, but the steering is also less direct than the RS. So when you get into the Ferrari is actually easier to drive. Strangely. So then when you go the other way, when you go backwards and you go from the Ferrari to the RS feels, again, as soon as you get in, you go, bloody hell. It's not just the directness of the steering, because that is just the thing that you feel, because I suppose it's because you can feel it straight away. You don't have to be going fast or anything. You can feel the difference in the steering straight away. And so the RS is just, it's like a little go-kart. And the other thing is, that the Ferrari, Ferrari's got 400 horsepower and the Ford's got 350, But actually, the Ford feels faster. So when you get in the Ford, after the Ferrari, you're going, bloody hell, this thing is really fast. Which is amazing. Thinking I've just come out of a Ferrari into an RS, and it's like the RS feels quicker. And it's that torque. It's this like massive amount of torque that the Ford's got. You can floor it at any RPM and it's going to give you some amazing thrust. Well, the Ferrari doesn't. But if you're at 2,000-3,000 RPM and floor the Ferrari, so you're in second gear and you floor the accelerator, you get this delay before then it sort of kicks in once it gets about 4,500 RPM. And then it sort of takes off. But it's a very different feeling. And then when you go from the RS to the Jimny, well, it just feels like you're sitting on a pillow. And you have to readjust to doing a lot of arm movements. But yeah, it's really interesting changing between the cars. Reza Mall, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. How do you juggle your personal life, cars, kids, business and family, and then still have time for the channel? That's a really good question. It's really hard, really, really hard. So I work a lot of hours and I have 2 kids. And I have the channel, which is often abandoned. But it's really hard. What I've tried to do a lot recently is just try and set actual times. So, I come into the office quite early in the morning and I get through all my work and stuff, and I'm in a lot of meetings. There's a lot of calls. I'm in a lot of sort of conference calls and stuff. And so I spend my day sort of in those meetings, and then I try and leave the sort of the second half of the day as like the day where I can actually get stuff done, and then I try and make sure that I finish around a certain time as well, so that I don't keep on working. And then I go, okay, and then I plan stuff, like for example, right, so after work I'm gonna, so we always have dinner together. So in the evening we always sit down for dinner. We always make sure that we've got an hour at least, so we can talk about the day, with my kids and stuff. And then so we always have that set time, no phones, nothing, no TV, nothing. And then I'll say, right, so before dinner, I'm going to spend an hour, for example. I'm really into like stocks and shares and crypto. And so I might do some trading, I might have a look at how things are going, research some different companies, see how they're doing, whatever. So, but I'll only maybe spend an hour or two, depends on what it is. And then, so I just try and put blocks of time into my day so that I can do it. And like today where I thought, I was just in tax paperwork and I thought I'd do a quick video. It was a bit off the cuff. It wasn't planned or anything. But I've just realized I've probably been sat here for like an hour. I can't even feel my legs anymore. It just takes so much time. So it wasn't planned. And that's why sometimes when I'm in the car, that's why a lot of videos start with me going, I'm on my way to the airport. It's the only time I've actually got to actually start to record a video. But if you can plan something in, and it's just defining blocks of time during the day. So like I said, I don't really watch TV and stuff. So I use my time to read or to do some buying and selling of stuff, or I'm coming up with some new ideas for the business or whatever it is that I'm doing. But I try and put blocks of time in and try and stick to those. Doesn't always work, but that's how I try. Clinton Charles, Justin, can you show us a little bit more of the Capisto exhaust? Will do. Stephen Charnock says, hi pal, which side do you prefer the steering wheel to be on? So I'm back and forth to UK quite a lot, so I'm often renting cars there which are right-hand drive, and I'm used to left-hand drive here. I actually prefer left-hand drive. Raul Moreno says, I've been here since the beginning, thank you. What nationality are you? British. How many languages you speak? 2, English and Spanish, and I suppose a little bit of French, but very little. Kai's 32, I was hoping you'd be giving away the Ferrari and I'd be one to get it. Well, that would make a good video. Daggera2 says, do you miss living in the UK? Do you prefer left or right-hand drive? Do I miss living in the UK? There are things I miss about the UK, but I don't really miss it in the sense that I suppose I've been here so many years in Spain now that I'm so used to the lifestyle in Spain. That's really why I came to Spain, for the lifestyle. Although the weather's been a bit weird, so we haven't been able to have the lifestyle that we expect, which is a very outdoor style lifestyle. Kevin Powell, what's the insurance cost in Spain? Okay, so the Ferrari is insured for myself only, although I can add an additional driver. The Ferrari costs, I think it's 1,200 euros, so 1,200 euros per year for the Ferrari. The Focus RS is insured for any driver, so anybody can drive it over, I think, the age of 25, I think it is. And that is 650 euros a year. And the Jimny is costing me, I think it's just under 500 euros a year. Again, that's for any driver. Remcasol, are you going to buy the Mark IV Focus RS if it ever comes out? Oh yes. Oh yes. Evan Ryan, we all know you've been around other Ferrari owners. Have you encountered other RS owners and their cars? No, not really. I've seen a couple on the road and we hoot at each other and stuff, but not really. And I am hoping to possibly go to Ford Fair this year, where hopefully I can meet lots of other owners. Aid Pope says, hi, which F1 team did you work for? When and for how long? Did I mention I worked for an F1 team at one point? Okay, so yeah, many years ago, it must have been about, 20 years ago, I worked for a Formula One team called British American Racing, BAR. And it was Jacques Villeneuve, I can't remember the other driver at the moment. So they just bought Tyrrell. They later became Honda, which then became the Mercedes team. They were based in Brackley. So I worked as the assistant to the technical director, which was Adrian Reynard at the time. And I wasn't there very long. I'm trying to remember how long I was there, maybe a year or something. It wasn't very long. And I just didn't like it. I didn't fit in. It wasn't for me. It was a very odd experience. So maybe I'll do a video about that separately because there's some stories to tell. ALLR. What were your main worries when starting a business? I didn't have any. I really didn't have any worries at all. I thought everything was going to go fine. It was all going to be really good, easy, and it was not that way. The worry came afterwards when I no longer had a salary coming in every month. So when starting it, I wasn't worried at all. I was very positive about it. Michael Ware, why and how do you live in Spain? Well, I really sort of moved to Spain. I wanted to my kids were very young. I was working very long hours in the UK. I very rarely saw them because I was working and commuting and stuck in traffic every single day. So I moved to Spain because I thought it was a good idea to be able to set up a business and spend more time with my kids. That's really why I moved to Spain. It wasn't to make money, it wasn't to do anything like that. It was literally just so I could spend more time with my kids. But it was tough. Django's Garage, Broken Dreams. Do you have a list of dream cars and the price range is 360 from your younger years? Yes, I do. I'm not sure what they are at the moment though. There are some cars that I was really fascinated with when I was younger. And especially sort of like, for example, things like the Aston Martin Virage, which was a bit of an unloved Aston Martin. And I really liked it. And there's cars like that which I often look at the prices of and I think, yeah, that's the sort of car I'd love. And I like Jags from that era as well. I love those sorts of things. Also, if you come over to UK and have some spare time, do you fancy reviewing some 90s cool cars like Lotus Carlton? Oh my god, yeah. 996 Turbo, yeah. BMW CSI, SL60 AMG, oh my god. Yeah, Django, I'm on my way, mate. Let's go. David McCorn, what's the best car you've ever driven? The best car I've ever driven is possibly the Ferrari 458. I felt that was an unbelievable car. You know, the speed, the power, just the entire, everything about the car, the steering, the gearbox, the handling, it was just like, wow, what? As an all-round supercar, the 458 was unbelievable. Brendan Burns, can I have the RS please and can you drop it into Dublin? Nope. M4 RC G4 M4. Are you into watches? Yes and no. I am, but I don't have any really expensive ones. B. Shah says, what do your daughters think about their famous dad? Do they tell their friends about their YouTuber dad? There's a good question. No. I'm not sure about famous, but what was funny was one of my daughters is in a college in the UK at the moment doing a year, and so they came across, I'd done a video with her, with my daughter, about her learning to drive. And because it's learning to drive, it got shared and it got picked up by lots of people. And I think it's had like nearly 50,000 views or something, which is quite a lot for one of my videos. And apparently some guys in her college said, that's her, look. So then they sort of found out about me. So I don't think they go telling people, but sometimes people find out. Danny Dutoit, My question is, if you can choose one of your cars, which one would you choose and why? Or it would have to be the RS, just because it's just the only car you ever need. William Jurgen, do you ever consider buying a young classic hot hatchback? Yeah, 205 1.9 GTI RS Mark 1. Oh, yeah. RS Mark 1s. Oh my God, I've been so tempted to buy one of those. I have such a soft spot for those. I've loved them forever. Really hard to find one that's not. So this is why I also don't modify. I've been looking for one that's not modified. Just an original Mark 1. It's really hard to find an original Mark 1 that hasn't had some sort of modification. Nathan Robinson says, biggest regret over a previous car sale? Yeah, definitely the Toyota GT86. I miss it every day. Stephen Lee, will you be putting some fatter off-road tyres on your Jimny for the better look? No, because it will drive even worse than it does now. Mohammed Boston, keep going Fezza, look forward to new vlogs. Thank you, Mohammed. Thanks for all your support, by the way. Stephen BHP Devon, congrats, Justin. If you were to change the RS, what would you buy? I'm having trouble with the answer. I have no idea, mate. Alex Drones on. Is it time to upgrade the 360 to 430 Spider? It is. I'm on it. I'm on it. Auto Power. Will you be going to Ford Fair this year? Yes, I did a video. I said I'm hoping to go. If I can make the dates work, I'll be there. Holly Butler. How many cats do you have? What are their names and which is your favourite? Favourite. Holly, I mentioned the cats earlier, Maria and Roxy. Favourite, Roxy's here. If I can't, I'd have to say Roxy because she can hear me. So, Leche Noche. Have you thought about travelling to Turkey to get some hair on your head? Is Turkey the place to go for hair transplants? I don't know. Fordy Ford, what's it like getting started on YouTube? Knowing what you know now about making your vlog, what tips would you give people just starting? Well, the biggest tip I would give is don't go there. It's really hard. I mean, I've so much respect for anybody who actually does regular videos because it's really time consuming. It's really hard. You have to put up with a lot of negativity online as well, which doesn't help. And it's just a lot of work. It's big effort. And the returns, I mean, if you do it for money, forget it. I mean, you have to have a very big channel to make a living out of it. So you're not going to get any money out of it. And so if you're just in it for a bit of fun, that's fine, and you know a bit of video editing or whatever, you just want to have a bit of fun, you don't care how many people watch your videos, you don't care whether they unsubscribe or what, which is how I approach it. And I think you've got to approach it, just do your own thing, do what you love, do what you think is right, try not to copy anybody else. In fact, it's probably best not to, like, I don't really watch a lot of other channels, so it's probably best not to watch all my channels, and so that you can just do things as you do them and the way you want to do them, and that's it. Pablo Escobar, the Pablo Escobar. You have a weird looking cat. Oh, Roxy, you poor thing. Toon Cranen, I think, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Justin, first of all, congrats, thank you. My question regarding your business, do you have offices with employees both in UK or Spain? And Spain, or do you just manage your business from Spain? Regards, Toon. So the business is based in the UK, it's registered in the UK, and in Spain, it's me and 2 others. There's only 3 of us here, there's about 20 something in the UK office. I'm fortunate to have a really good business partner, so between us, we run the company, and so I look after the technical side, he looks after the commercial side, plus he's based in the UK office. Mateo Barriguete. Tengo un par de preguntas. La primera, ¿cómo hiciste el dinero para tener esos coches? Porque no haces un canal en español. So Mateo's asking, where did I get the money to buy my cars? And can I do a channel in Spanish? Well, the money comes from working too many hours. I don't just have the business in the UK, I also have websites that generate income for me. I do stocks and shares, I do some crypto trading. So it depends. So I have more than one source of income, so that's where the money comes from. And can I do a channel in Spanish? No, because it would take me ages. I can't even get my words out in English. In Spanish, it would take me even longer. Joey Shreve, good question. Would I still get the 360, knowing that it's got the belts and stuff? But and if so, would you still get the Spider? Would you got the Modena? So I would still go for the Spider, even though the hood gives you added stress and potential costs that you wouldn't get with the Modena. So I would definitely go for the Spider, and yeah, no regrets on buying the 360. I think it's still an amazing car. Buddy's insight: would you ever move back to the UK? Well, you never say never. You never know what life's going to throw at you. You never know what's around the corner. So if I had to go back to the UK, I'd go back to the UK and I'd be fine. It wouldn't bother me, but I don't have any plans to, but it wouldn't bother me if I had to. Kib Jib: I can't wear hats. I have a weird shaped head. Don't we all? Any chance of a sweet t-shirt? I haven't done any actually, but if people want a t-shirt, maybe I'll print off some t-shirts or something. M. Klongerpute: any chance of outside shots of the Ferraris you're driving? Nick Murray does them for his 911. Yeah, I know. So Nick, I forgot to mention Nick earlier about when I was saying the YouTubers I follow, and I follow Nick Murray actually, and he's really good. I love Nick. He's so funny. And yeah, I am conscious of doing more outside shots. It's just, you know how much work is involved in coordinating 2 cars, camera setups and everything. It's, you know, whenever I see somebody like Nick's videos, I know the amount of effort, the amount of time that it takes to do what he's doing. Oh, it's so, you know, it takes over your life. You need like an entire day to do it. Adam Lisk: hi Justin, how fast does the Jimny go in reverse? I don't know, but there's a good video. Watch this space. Leo RS: Justin, congrats, thank you very much. Leo, have you got a spare room in your beautiful home for me? No, because I've moved and we don't have any space. So I've downsized. But if I still had the house, you'd be more than welcome to come. Pecos Kid: which of the 3 cars you spend the most time in? Actually, at the moment, the Jimny. I actually spend the most time in the Jimny. Michael Hersford says, how long will you be keeping the RS for? I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't know. I can't see any point in selling it at the moment. And he says, you should give me a hat just for liking your videos. All of them. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for being so supportive, by the way. Bibo says, what got you into SEOing? If you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. That's what my business does. And what got me into it was because in 2004, when I set up my own online business, it was a disaster. And I realized pretty quickly that unless I somehow get it ranking in Google, I wouldn't be able to, I was going to starve to death, which I was close to already. So I got into SEO through a desperate need to drive business, to drive people to my business, to my website, so that I can make some money. Unstoppable, not written those letters, but that's what it means. Despite your success in the business world, are you so down to earth because you once didn't have anything, or just face you put on for your YouTube? I'm not sure about success. I don't feel like I'm that successful. I feel like I'm just okay. But down to earth, yeah, you know, sometimes I find it really fascinating when I go to like these Porsche and Ferrari meetups, because I feel like I'm out of place there. I feel like I don't belong there. It feels like a very different world that I enter. And I think, and one of the questions was about Formula One. And when I was in Formula One, I felt I didn't belong there, and I wasn't supposed to be there. It just didn't feel, it wasn't me. I wasn't comfortable in that environment with so much money and stuff. And so when I go to the Porsche club and stuff, and the Ferrari club, I feel like I don't belong there. I feel like I'm completely out of place. And down to earth, who you see in the YouTube videos is me. I don't put anything on. That's just my sense of humor. This is how I live my life. You know, this is how I approach life. This is my mentality. This is my. So who you see is who I am. And I think I come from a very humble background. So I want my kids to feel the same way. I want them to, I don't bring them up spoiled kids or anything. So I think it's just that, I don't feel I fit in with, when I go to places where we're properly successful people, I don't feel like I belong in those groups. And I'm much more down to earth, and I like just do my own thing. I'm quite an introvert, I'm quite private, believe it or not, even doing a YouTube video, but I'm quite private, quite an introvert. I like my own space. I don't like to be with other people as such. You know, I like to focus on my own thing, and I like to focus on my kids and my family. That's really important. But I have no, I suppose I am who I am, and that's who I am on the video. Ian Careless. Well done, Justin. Deserved. Good to see some mods. 500 brake horsepower maybe on the RS? No. During the meanwhilst, I've noticed in your focus you only have the driver's seat lowered and the headrests in the back are at a different level. So I just wanted to ask, are you naturally untidy? Oh my God, completely the opposite. I actually have an element of OCD, I think. So I'm quite, like at home, everything is in its place. There's no untidiness. The kitchen is always clean. Nothing can be left on the side. I'm quite strict to my kids in that respect and stuff. Completely OCD. And in the car, I often do notice that the headrests are different heights. But I'm driving along and I'm like, oh my God, the headrests. And I don't let it bother me because I desperately try and say to myself, it doesn't matter. But it does ultimately bother me. And when I remember, I go back and then I push them down. Greenkeeper Steve, when they bring the new Focus RS out, would you trade your RS in for one or have the two? Now there is something that I can't decide at the moment. NFox TV, oh hi mate. If you haven't watched his channel, go and check it out. It's got a nice BMW M140 at the moment. It looks really nice. If you had to straight swap your 360 frame in the car, not seeing the value of 360, what would you go for? Oh my God, I don't know. That's a really tough question. I think it would probably be a Porsche. I've never owned a Porsche and I'd like to own a Porsche. But I'm not sure I'm not into the Porsches so much, so I don't know what's the value. I can't tell you the value of what, so I don't know which Porsche it would be, but I would like to think it would be a Porsche. Jeff Eppinger. He wants to start his own channel. So what would advice you give? Pros and cons? Yeah, I mentioned earlier a few of those. Check out that answer. Thanks, Jeff. Radian Aditya. Some petrolhead often fix their cars. Do you ever fix your car on your own? When I can, I do, and I do some things on my cars. It's just lack of time. Sometimes it's like I know some people have to wash their cars and keep them sparkling and all this. And to be honest, when I have time, I just want to drive the cars, especially the Ferrari or the RS. I like to get up on a Sunday morning and go for a drive up the mountains, that sort of thing. So I would rather do that than I'm going to go and fix the glove box on the Ferrari, which keeps opening by itself, which is really annoying. Stephen Gold, have you ever considered doing a slot on Top Gear? No, Top Gear's too below me now. I don't like what direction it's gone. So, David Roddick has a final question. Do you keep a fire extinguisher in the Ferrari? No, I don't. And only because I thought, well, I could keep one in the Ferrari, but if it catches fire, the last thing I'm going to do is start unbolting a fire extinguisher to get out of the car. I would just bolt it out of the car myself and let it just go up in flames. Anyway, right, that is the last question. I don't know how long I've been sat here talking, but my mouth is dry. Anyway, right, so 10 people. We need 10 people for hats. We need 10 people for hats. Hold on, I nearly forgot the whole purpose of the bloody video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've actually got 12 in there. I've got loads more here anyway, but maybe I'll take some of these to Ford Fair if I go. Right, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Right, I'm just going to grab the scroller on the right and go up and down a few times and then just stop it somewhere and then see what name is there. First one is Peppercat. And Peppercat, congratulations, you're number one. Quick. Happy Traveller. Tricoviza Auto. Joe Green. Hold on, that's not number 2, that's number 3, wasn't it? I'm not sure how many I've got. I think that was 4. What do we got? Marcus FZ1. Patrick Hayes FFC. No, not Patrick. Purple Hayes FFC, sorry. That's 6, isn't it? Dennis Hoffman. That's 7. Reza Mall. That's 8. Alex drones on, that's 9. And 10 is Holly Butler. Now, I don't know if I actually did 10. I'm going to do one more just in case I got the numbers wrong. So hold on, let's do one more. Let's have a look. Old Speckled Ben 1. Cool. There you go. Right, those are 10, possibly 11 hats going out. I shall leave them there. Congratulations to those who won. Hope you found the video a little bit interesting. It might be way too long. I'm going to have to trim it as much as possible. But thanks for watching, and hopefully some actual car related content will come out soon. And in the meantime, have a great day. Safe driving. Catch you very soon. Bye.